nature, right? Where it's not all going in now for JDG. They can play a little bit on both sides. They can go on the offensive, on the defensive, and try to soak up what EDG have to throw at them.
You know, I wouldn't mind a replay.
We'll go back to the tape on that, but if
eyes deceive me?
If it did result in that game taken, we'll call it a success. And also with Xiaoshu pushing into ZDZ for essentially the entirety of this laning phase, going to be very difficult for that to happen. The equalizer kind of adding to that inevitability. So will be some extra pushing power here on JDG's side for the remainder of the game.
Ooh, whoa.
Maybe Xiaohao, though, going to try to punish as he goes forward with the Paranoia. Fear lands onto Xiaoshu. He pops the Scrap Shield to stay alive, and he does live long enough for potentially Junja to make this a even fight. In goes Vampire with the quickness, charms up one, knocks up a second, as ZDZ will be in a whole lot of trouble with Junja flashing over and making it a 2-for-1 for JDG.
Are going to try and contest for this future dragon. I don't think it's going to be very easy, though. You look at the lanes right now, and look at bot lane.
Leave burns both of his summoner spells and still might end up paying. It's end up giving a 1, and Gala's going to go down as well. Nicely done by Leave to generate enough distance between that Kaisa and himself to make sure that turret, as Junja will go back to the scene of the crime, start this dragon up. Xiaoshu is overheated, but now EDG could be looking for a fight. The Drake's already been secured by JD Gaming, but in goes Perukia looking for the engage, gets bursted down, but it's going to survive a little bit longer before the rest of the assault begins. Leave transcends and is untouched on the back line for now, but Junja is still massive here in the front line and eviscerating Angel and the rest of EDG. He dashes into the bush, but he's not going to be able to get one back as Angel gets himself another kill, and at the end of the day, it is a 3-for-3.
Had it existed maybe 5 minutes later, it would have been an EDG wipe, but unfortunately, they just don't have the damage to back up all of the AoE in their kits.
And so instead, we retain a relatively even game state.
Be a banger, and then it actually ends up being a banger. That is just the best feeling ever. Certainly better to the contrary, which is a super hype series, and then it ends up under-delivering.
Oh, yeah. Their round-robin stage by beating a team like BLG, beating a team like OMG in the way that they did, I think left a lot of people confident about what they could end up doing. And sure, there have been mistakes, but I think we're feeling confident about either of these teams' prospects if they are to advance past each other as we look towards the top lane. And Angel gets himself a solo kill.
Yeah, this Angel, he's got hands.
Angel, though, 3-0 on the Akali. We remember just 10 minutes ago how behind he was.
Yeah, what a
lane.
turnaround.
Now he's really starting to come online, and the rest of his team suddenly looking for a play on the opposite side of the map, while now Angel could be the one collapsed upon up top. Let's take a look at the bot lane first, as Xiaohao has gone in with the Paranoia and has feared Xiaoshu up. No flash available for him, so that should be an easy kill onto the JDG top laner. And meanwhile, Angel able to get out unscathed, not even having to burn that perfect execution. It's going to cost a top lane tier 1 turret, but ZDZ is going to be able to answer it on the bottom side.
Hey, 3-dash diff. EDG are able to make the cross-map play onto the immobile Rumble, and, I mean, Xiaoshu just can't catch a break in these past couple of minutes. You know, we were kind of ripping in these fights, but they may have actually been a bit too late. JDG are just onto the dragon with no contest, curiously enough, Grapes.
Xiao's not even in Paranoia range, and even if he was, the rest of his team isn't even there. So it would be very good for them to start that stacking right now.
Certainly would. EDG as well. You know, the Cloud Dragon, particularly for this top side, is going to do a lot as Junji is just walking into 2.
Yeah, he seems to enjoy doing that. Look at the equalizer burn as well. Perfectly placed by Xiaoshu, forcing a redemption to be issued by Perukia. And now Xiaohao's still going to have to head back to base. He used his ultimate. He's going to be chunked out. That is JDG getting a free start of this Otacon.
Yeah, Xiaohao can't reset. He has to try and steal this Otacon. He has to follow his team into an engage. But the Paranoia is usually how you try to start up these fights. I'm looking at ZDZ to try and be that go button, Perukia to be that go button. But JDG are smartly just kind of stalling out this fight and not fully committing onto the Otacon. It is a war of attrition, as it always is with this objective.
Hurrah for Otacon, for the winter map, and for the 2025 year as a whole. Looks like these teams are going to go out swinging
Xiaoshu?
as we get a big engage onto Xiaoshu, who is overheated and taken out. Leave is the one to land the final kill, and Perukia is going in to try to continue the engage, but knockup lands onto Angel. He uses the
Angel's
Shroud to
alive.
get himself out alive, and Leave has now been transcended and issuing a bunch of empowered auto attacks onto the JDG side. It is a 4 versus 5 in favor of EDG, but the health bars are not necessarily favorable as they have the Otacon at 10,000 HP and Junja still with his smite.
And how do you engage this fight as JDG? I mean, Vampire doesn't have ult. You don't really have a go button. You just kind of have to walk at them. But EDG have the poke.
Here goes the public execution. ZDZ pulls the trigger. It takes 2 with him, but it's going to be the drag of the Otacon secured by Edward Gaming and Zhao Hao. Leave still has that lethal tempo proc, but Gala uses the killer instinct in the backline to assassinate Perukia. But it's going to be one traded back as a teleport comes in. Zhao Shu wants blood, wants revenge for getting taken down earlier at that team fight, and Zhao Hao will end up falling.
And it is Junjia
and Roses though with that buff, and so we'll see if JDG are going to be able to just take advantage of the extra gold they got on the back end of that play. With this dragon getting started off by Edward Gaming. Zhao Hao in the area, but not actively hitting that dragon. Has the paranoia, but JDG have control over this brush on the bottom side of the mid lane. And they've caught out Angel and forced him to use the Shuriken flip back. ZDZ's on a flank himself,
he's going in.
But now in goes Angel, trying to assassinate Gala. He's in the Shroud, so he's able to live for a little bit longer, but he will get immediately followed and taken down by the wind becomes lightning as Junja issues the first casualty in the fight, and Zhao Hao goes way too far forward, and Gala will live through it all. Equalizer separates the bottom lane of EDG, and ZDZ will be the next target. Solar Flare buying some time, but not enough here for the Mbessa, as Hongq will get himself on the board as well. It's a 3-for-0 on JDG side as Gala survives a boatload of assassination attempts that were thrown his way.
And Gala just scoffing, you know, kind of brushing off.
Won the fight, got the dragon, and got the Baron. So they're pushing now in multiple lanes. ZDZ's got a little bit of a wave crashing in the top side, but not going to nearly match up to everything that JDG's been able to get here.
Now that ZDZ is actually resetting and redeploying along with his team to defend his base, I don't think it's going to matter. So this is really limiting EDG's options at this point in time where you have Baron on JDG, you've got Soul Point, so you're on a timer, and it feels like some of your champions really haven't scaled and or their time in the sun has come to an end. It feels like Angel was a huge mid-game threat, but has struggled in these past couple of fights, Grapes, to find a proper target to assassinate.
And again, I think you mentioned it, Quacks. Not all of EDG seem to be on the same page. We have not seen that wow moment from him just yet in this series, but this could be an opportunity for him to do so. Trying to turn around one of this game. But it looks like Perukia is actually going to be the one to pull the trigger first as he immediately goes in with the flash. But he will go down to the likes of Gala, and Zhao Hao will be next. It's a double kill for Gala, and they're looking for the whole rest of the pie. There's a double off of the equalizer on its own, and it's a 5-for-0 ace. A triple kill in for Gala's Kaisa, and that will be JDG marching into the bottom lane and evening our series up at 1.
3 for Gala, 2 for Xiaoshu, and 1 for JDG. Ladies and gentlemen, Grapes said it. We have a series here in the Demacia Cup. JDG, the team that so many were excited to see on paper rise to the occasion and who are so looking forward to their 2026 season, rebounding after a rough start to now take EDG to Game 3.